All right, y'all, if you caught the last video, axles are loaded up on the Diamond C, and we are headed back to Hunters for a long overdue OBS update. I'm really excited about this video, guys. Sit back and enjoy. That ain't going anywhere. Don't forget that. Wait. Ain't going nowhere. Who's it going like your backtrack? Quick pit stop there to Stand Out Specialties to grab a set of wheels that we had on order, and these ones came in really fast from American Force. Like, really fast. 2 weeks is extremely fast. Probably the fastest set of wheels that we've ever got. So we've got them strapped on the back. Big shout out to Stand Out Specialties for hooking us up as always. We've got those archived for a future build. We've actually got a few other sets of wheels on the way right now. If you guys want to get 5% off any set of wheels and tires from Stand Out Specialties, use discount code enthusiast. Boys, we're here to help you save some dollars. It's hard to find any savings in the wheel space, but we like to do what we can. So anyway, guys, we're back here at Hunters. He's actually about to be rolling up here shortly. We've got the somewhat refinished axle. Didn't try to make it beautiful. I just wanted to kind of make it look a little bit better. This one actually functions. Our hubs are not locked, but it spins very nicely, which is fantastic. The other ones, not so much. We're gonna be getting that unloaded here shortly. Gonna be doing some skid steer stuff because we actually have some other pretty substantial goodies that have been accumulating that we're going to jump into here very shortly. But before we do that, and as we wait to open up shop, we're already less than 2 weeks until the deadline for Dream Diesel giveaway number 25. So if you guys want to get entered for Misfit and $30,000 cash, then your time, my friends, is ticking. Procrastination Nation, I see you. Oh man, he's coming in hot. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the 95 OBS. We cut the back off, we shortened the bed, and we put a work body on it. Bet they never saw that coming.
You guys never really did see that coming.
Dude, my OBS, what'd you do to it?
Put a bed on it and I'm using it.
You and your Sawzall skills, this is concerning, my friend. Look what we're greeted with here. This, my friends, if you haven't ever seen any of Hunter's work, is a 1968 6.7 liter Power Stroke on air ride. It's a mega cab too. Custom fab by, well, Hunter himself. Who else? He's got his big old meats back on. Look at these things. They're freaking massive, man.
40 by 13, 50, 17 on some classic welds.
That's a vibe, if I've ever seen one. Oh, would you look at that? Waiting for the air system to charge up, and then we've got the F100. This is a Cummins swap truck, and then of course one of what I know as the only 95 LBZ to almost ever exist. It's getting there. It's close. We've got some super freaking exciting things in the works. All right, Jake, you had to pick one truck. Which should it be?
Probably that one.
The dump truck. Yeah. It was supposed to be about the other two.
Oh.
All right, being that Jake is completely excluded from this question, F100 or 68 crew cab, mega cab, custom built by Hunter, which one would you take, guys? You gotta drop a comment below because I'm curious to know. Or if we add a third one into the mix, would it be the 95 crew cab LBZ OBS? Doesn't that sound sick? Freaking love the way that that sounds. All right, so guys, I know Hunter is going to say, Jack, I'm really sorry for the mess. Hunter is like one of the kindest dudes ever, and he's always very conscientious of presentation and everything like that. And I can really admire him for that because we're kind of the same way, but you guys know, when you're working, you're making a mess, and that's okay. We're greeted with a whole bunch of stuff here that's going on because this man behind the scenes has been absolutely crushing it, and we're super grateful for his willingness to literally tackle this project with no hesitation. So we've got bumpers hanging out here. We've got a transfer case here. This is the electronic one that's actually going to be going back to Hicksville Duramax because we're going to be doing a manual transfer case on this truck, mostly for the fact that we could wire in with the harness that we actually have. We'll get into that in a future video. All the programming to actually electronically control those buttons, but I didn't really feel like that was what we wanted to focus on. So we actually had Hicksville send us a manual transfer case, which I had mentioned in the last upload. I do want to debrief you guys a little bit on some parts just to bring you up to speed, because if I don't mention it now, I'll probably forget to mention it indefinitely. We've got a 7.3 radiator support right here, which is gonna go in place of what was the gas radiator support. Very different components, but will bolt in to the frame, no problem. Here we've got a Banks piping kit, so that actually also includes an intercooler for a 7.3. And then in the back of the truck, we've got a Mishimoto radiator, which is gonna complete our cooling and our breathing system for the front of this truck. So all those components are very, very important, and I did not want to miss out on mentioning those. Hunter is gonna be grabbing the new axle off of the trailer. That's out of a 2012 F250 with 373 final drive. The rear axle is back at home. Then we also had another really important delivery, and it's this one right here. And that's hopefully what we're gonna get into a little bit in tonight's upload, is this motor right here. So yes, now we have two motors for the truck. One works, one doesn't. The one that doesn't work, it has been the mock-up motor, and that was ever so graciously donated as a temporary motor for us to use for mock-up purposes for this truck. I actually had very high hopes, and I wanted to go out and get a fully built motor to replace that motor with. The way of the world right now, it takes forever to get anything, and unfortunately, I wasn't gonna be able to secure a working, fully built motor in time. So we actually reached back out to Hicksville, and they had this motor right here, which is an LBZ that only has 90,000 miles on it. It's in absolutely incredible condition. Look at the block of this thing, guys. All the cast pieces look awesome. It doesn't have all that much oxidation on it, nothing too crazy. All the lines look really, really good. This is actually the first time I'm seeing it, by the way. I should probably put that out as a little disclaimer. The rust on the manifold and the up pipe's not bad at all. It actually looks like it's already tapped in for an EGT sensor, which is cool, so we'll get that all connected in the time being. And this motor looks super good. It's really clean. So this is actually the motor that we're gonna have in the truck, so we can enjoy summertime in the streets. I really didn't want to have to wait on the truck and then ultimately until next season. We want to get this thing fired up as soon as possible, because I think we're all equally as excited as one another to see and hear a Duramax OBS start up for the first time ever on the vlog. That's not going to be today though, guys. I'm sorry. Great things come with time. A little bit of patience is key. You've been hard at work, man. Are you capable of summarizing the hours that you have in this project thus far?
I mean, if I could put it into 1 week, like a full day.
Yeah.
Like dawn to dusk.
Yeah.
It'd be a full week.
40 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, probably more than that.
More than that.
Well, 24 times 5, so 100.
Or are we talking 7-day week?
Yeah, full week, like 7 a.m. to 10 at night.
It takes time, guys. Like I try to emphasize that, and I try to relay that, but oh, you found his fuel.
I was getting ready to say, it took at least a couple of hours.
Not sponsored by Busch Light, but Busch, if you're watching, we'll take a few. And we would love some John Deere cans. We would love some John Deere cans. That'd be really cool.
I thought it was Busch Latte.
The motor mount to the crossmember.
Yeah.
So I have to build that for each
Dude,
side.
that fits in there so nice. God, that's beautiful.
I try.
She's thick. Real thick.
And then crossmember can be welded in. And then all I have to do is do a trans crossmember. But I was
So
gonna
sick.
mess with the factory one and just set it in there.
Awesome, dude. I guess I'll use that as liberty to bring you guys up to speed a little bit. So the last video on this truck, we were updating you about some of the adjustments that we were making to the first revision of the mocked up crossmember. And basically what we had done was taken the axles that unfortunately aren't gonna work for this truck, but we've got other ones, and we mocked it up in here. It was a little interesting getting it across the pit, but we made it work. And that was to make this adjustment and measurement right here. So we found that with the pumpkin on the Dana 60, we would want a little bit of leeway right here versus having this whole area straight across. So we actually notched it up a little bit further to move all of that bracing up and out of the way so the axle has clearance. Now what I want you guys to realize is right now, this axle is not in its quote final resting place. It will actually probably be a little bit lower to give the truck its final suspension setup, which we'll get into in future uploads, so stay tuned for that. If you guys haven't subscribed to follow along this build, you definitely should consider doing so. And while you're subscribing to my channel, subscribe to Hunt Tyler Build. He's over there, and he's going to be doing some cool stuff with things that are over there. And I'm going to let him explain that in another video that'll be up here. But this thing is sick, guys. So it's modeled off of the factory Duramax crossmember that allows the motor mount, which is that orange thing and that orange thing right there, to rest on it and also allow for the pitch of the motor to be that of factory. Hunter, what was the pitch? Is it 5 degrees? 5 or 7 degrees? It's in between that area. Let's call it 6 for averaging sake. So the whole drive line and powertrain sit on that nice angle that then lines all of the drive components, final drive components, out to the rear axle, which we're gonna be switching on this one. Anyway, dude, thing looks sick, man.
You can thank Colin for that.
Colin at J4L Customs, if you guys don't follow them on Instagram, which you guys would definitely like if you like big rigs, because they take really nice ones and make them like 10 times nicer. Definitely check out their Instagram, it's right here. But shout out to you, Colin. Thank you for using some of your resources to pull together this project right here, man. It's really, really sick. It looks absolutely awesome. Cool thing about how we set all this up, I'm gonna say how he set this up. I was just the guy. I actually probably slow him down every time I'm here, so it's all good. But anyway, I'm just the guy. I'm just the idiot with the camera. Hunter was actually able to take the measurements and position this entire motor, which is not a simple thing to do, around the whole AC condensing unit, so this truck will have factory style air conditioning. How sick is that?
Rips, by the way. I mean, that AC is chilly.
Yeah, you raise a very valid point, man. There's a ton of room for activities back there. Maybe hard to see on camera, but there's your down pipe right there, guys. We'll be able to do up pipes on this thing pretty easily, with way more ease than most Duramaxes. Let's just put it that way. Killing it, man. Freaking awesome, bro. On the vlog, documented, I gotta say, freaking love that guy right there. All right, guys, so we're gonna jump right back on into this thing. Step one is to actually pull out the broken motor. That's gonna be going back as we're closing out the loaner program from Hicksville Duramax. I gotta say thank you again to those guys, big time. If you're looking for any OEM Duramax parts that you can't find, especially those classic body style guys, hit them up, they'll ship. You don't find that in scrapyards often. It's pretty freaking cool. That motor's gonna be coming out, and then we're gonna be working on, you can actually see Hunter moving back that Allison now. We're gonna be working on getting that new motor in place, because the final step in the crossmember, that freaking beautiful crossmember, is actually fabricating the full-on mounting point, which are Duramax style, that go right here. And then you're gonna have a bolt that goes through there, and our motor is securely fastened. Wow. Can we believe we're saying that right now? It's crazy. Also, a fun little tidbit for those that are technical, we did do a measurement on a factory OBS 7.3. From this point right here on the firewall out to the front of where the fan shroud is 26 inches on a 7.3. Ours is about 26.5. So 1 little ½ inch considered. I think we should all be good. You literally just turned the camera on. So we got more local Lancaster County out here helping out the build. We got Logan, that Popeye. He's actually going to be doing some welding for us. Well, as you can see, he's already welding. I'm kind of a little bit delayed here, but we are working on getting our custom brackets installed. So here's the idea, guys. This is just the gauge template that Hunter built up quick. That is going to go like that, and then there's going to be another piece that, of course, comes across here. It's just we didn't have enough, scrap metal. But we're building it out with something way thicker. It's actually going to be 1/4 inch of this metal right here. We are working on actually getting our first piece in as we speak. I stand corrected. Logan is actually in there right now welding the remaining areas that haven't been fastened to the chassis. This thing is way overbuilt and way over engineered, but let's just say that's Hunt Tyler's way.
2 hours later.
All right, guys, we've all been completely hands-on for about the last hour and a half now, so there's a few things I want to catch you up on. First being, we've got the crossmember completely locked and loaded in. This thing is 10 times more reinforced than the entire chassis. Honestly, it's made of thicker material than the actual frame rails on the OBS itself, so probably the strongest part of the truck. We've got the new axle semi-under. Old axle's actually out, strapped up to the deck over as we speak. Logan was in here making it happen. The welds look absolutely killer between Colin and Logan. Those guys really know what they're doing. Very grateful for their contributions and time into this project, because you can see 5/16 steel. It's not thin, it's not small, and it's not easy to bend, but they've got the capabilities and the know-how to make it happen, and yeah, that thing's in there. Thank you again to the guys at J4L Customs. It means the world to have your expertise and knowledge in here making this dream of mine come to life. There goes Logan as we speak. Now, another few things to update on. We're not going to drop the new LBZ in tonight, but we've got it all strapped up to the overhead hoist. We're going to get that in tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to get you guys total updates on that, but Hunter's going to keep on crushing it, man, and killing it. That you are, bro. It's absolutely awesome. Jake's over here getting snoozer. Jake might pop by. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but in the event that we don't, a few other things. So we've got the manual transfer case right here. We've got our shifter right there. So that's all going to get mocked up and in place before the actual crossmember of the trans is fabricated, so that's on the list. And then we've got all of our edges cleaned up on what came off of the donor truck of the first axle. These things are not clean, but they're going to act as a temporary solution to get the radius arms in place to hold that axle in place, so that way we can actually roll this truck out, because for the time being it is completely immobile. There's this C-channel brace that's actually holding up the entire truck right now on these 6,000-pound jack stands, and that is what is supporting this entire thing. So once the engine is in, we're going to add more weight to the front, but we really won't have a way to move the truck itself. So we're going to take the coil springs that came off the first donor chassis, mock them up kind of slightly into the area, do some tack welding just to keep things in place, roll this thing out of here, get it on the trailer, and then we'll get it back to the shop. So that's a quick summary of kind of what is going to be happening. It's going to be really exciting the next time that we get here, because there's going to be some serious progress had, boys. And last but not least, we got our motor mount bracket in place. So this is all still loose componentry, still needs to get welded together. You guys saw how the motor mount rested on the actual crossmember itself, and this is the component that's going to let the motor drop into place on the actual crossmember itself. Hopefully I explained that well. I think you guys kind of catch my drift. Tight, tight, tight. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. All right, boys and girls, I know it's pretty dark at the moment. We got our rock lights chilling, and that's where we're gonna wrap up this upload. So grab your entries for Dream Music giveaway number 25 if you haven't already, because that giveaway ends July 3rd. It's kind of crazy that that time is already upon us. And Procrastination Nation, this is one of your last warnings. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you all in the next one.